Olanma folded her arms and eyed the gifts. Then, without a word, she picked up a heavy log of firewood beside her hut, hoisted it over her head, and threw it directly at Obiora's feet. The man jumped back in shock. "Take your gifts and go," she snapped. "I am not cattle that can be bought with yams and fish. Leave my sight before I throw another one." Obiora, humiliated and angry, grabbed his gifts and stormed away. Olanma was breathtakingly beautiful. Her beauty was so overwhelming that whenever she walked through the market, men forgot the things they came to buy. Some stood open-mouthed, their words stolen from them. Others whispered among themselves, debating which god had blessed or cursed her with such a face. Despite all these, Olanma's face was like a stone, unmoved, unchanging. She was ready to embarrass any man that comes to ask for her hand in marriage. One afternoon, just as Olanma was about to leave for business, a well-dressed man named Okonkwo arrived with his kinsmen. He was the son of a wealthy yam farmer and had come with a jug of palm wine and a bag of cowries to officially ask for Olanma's hand in marriage. "Olanma, I have admired you for a long time," Okonkwo said confidently. "I am a wealthy man and my barns are filled with yams. I have come to take you as my wife." Olanma did not even glance at him. She simply continued arranging her goods. His kinsmen, thinking she was just shy, smiled at her. "Nwanyoma, you are a woman. You need a man to take care of you." At this point, Olanma paused and slowly turned to face them. Without a word, she picked up a large clay pot filled with water. Laughter. No matter how many men approached her, no matter how many gifts were presented to her, Olanma never smiled. Her face was always set in the same expression, one of sorrow and deep grief. The children were afraid of her. She refused joy. She rejected love because she believed that to love was to invite death. And the men, no matter how much they longed for her, could do nothing to change that. Few weeks later, another man named Ikenna, a hunter known for his boastful nature, came to Olanma's hut. Unlike Okonkwo, he did not come with his kinsmen. Instead, he brought a jug of palm wine and set it on the table. "Olanma, you are wasting time," he said. "I am strong, I am brave, and I can provide for you. Any woman will be lucky to have me. I don't know why you keep refusing men, but today you will say yes to me." Olanma looked at him from head to toe and burst into laugh. "Ikenna, who told you that you are strong? Because you kill antelopes in the forest. What kind of man forces a woman to marry him?" "You are only pretending," Ikenna said. "I know you want me." Olanma did not reply. She calmly walked to her kitchen, picked up a heavy wooden pestle, and charged at him. "Hey, Olanma, what are you doing?" Ikenna yelled as he leaped out of the way. "Leave my house before I use this on you," she screamed. Ikenna did not wait for a second warning. He dropped his palm wine and ran for his life. After a series of public rejection, could not ignore the matter any longer. "This is getting out of hand," one elder grumbled. No woman of her age refuses marriage like this, another said. So they summoned Olanma to the village square where the entire community gathered to witness the questioning. Olanma, the oldest elder, began. You have refused all suitors, even the richest and most handsome men. It is not normal. What is your reason? Olanma lowered her eyes. She wanted to tell them the truth, but she could not. The villagers would never understand. Instead, she simply said, "Marriage is not for me." The elders muttered among themselves. "You are a woman," one of them said sternly. "A woman is meant to marry and bear children." "If I do not marry, will the sun stop rising?" Olanma asked. The crowd gasped. The elders were furious. "You bring disgrace to this village, Olanma. We give you until the next full moon. If you do not choose a husband by then, we will choose one for you." Olanma only smiled. "I would like to see you try," she said. And with that, she walked away, leaving the elders murmuring in shock. Olanma's days were simple. Wake up, prepare her goose, go to the market, return home and sleep. She spoke to people but avoided unnecessary conversation with men. She greeted the villagers with a smile but kept her face unreadable to any man who dare seek more than a greeting. One afternoon, Onyeka walked into her life. He was not like the other men who approached her with boasting or gifts. He did not come with cowries, palm wine, or rehearsed speeches. He did not stare at her beauty. He simply came to buy foodstuff. Olanma was arranging her store when she heard his voice. "Nwanyoma, give me 2 tubers of yam and a basket of fish." She turned slightly, her usual cold, unreadable face in place. Onyeka was tall, with the kind of presence that drew attention without effort. He had kind eyes that held warmth, not hunger. Olanma measured the yams without a word and handed them to him. "Ah," Onyeka said, taking the yams. "So you don't even ask a man how his day is going? What if I say I have been working all day in this hot sun and I need someone to at least pity me?" Olanma ignored him. She simply reached for the dried fish and set them in front of him. Onyeka placed his hands on his chest and let out a dramatic sigh. "Chai, so this is how you treat your customers? No warm words, no thank you for buying from me. If I collapse here, will you even sprinkle water on my face?" Olanma glanced at him unimpressed. "That will be 10 calories," she said flatly. Onyeka shook his head. "At least let me collapse first before I pay." Few villagers nearby laughed at his playful tone, but Olanma remained unmoved. She extended her palm. "Calories." Onyeka sighed again, shaking his head as he handed her the money. "You are a tough one, Olanma, but I will be back." Olanma said nothing. She had heard that before. Men always claim they will return. The next day, Onyeka returned, and the day after that. At first, Olanma saw no difference between him and the others. But something about Onyeka was different. He never tried to impress her with gifts. He never asked her about marriage. He never praised her beauty. Instead, he bought his goose, stayed a while, filled the air with laughter. He was always telling jokes, telling ridiculous stories. "Olanma, do you know that I once tried to wrestle a goat because I thought it was a small antelope? The way it knocked me into a ditch that day, I swore never to hunt at night again." She did not smile, but the market women did. The next day he came again. "Olanma, let me tell you how my uncle tried to cook soup but forgot to add water. Do you know he put everything, pepper, fish, palm oil, in the pot and covered it, thinking it will cook by itself? We all nearly broke our teeth that night. Still, Olanma did not laugh, but her lips twitched just a little. And then one evening it happened. Onyeka came late to the market, covered in dust. His clothes were stained and his face looked like he had fought a battle with a swarm of bees. "Olanma," he gasped, panting dramatically. "I have just seen the biggest masquerade in my life. The way he chased me, if you saw me running, you would think I was competing with the wind. I even jumped over a fence. Do you know the worst part?" Olanma raised an eyebrow. "I later found that it wasn't a masquerade." He shook his head. "It was just an old woman carrying a basket on her head." For the first time, Olanma laughed. Not just a hidden smile, a real full deep laugh. It was so sudden that even she was surprised. Onyeka's face lit up. So this is what your laughter sounds like. The gods must be rejoicing today." Olanma quickly covered her mouth, her cheeks warming, but it was too late. The wall she had built had cracked. Olanma did not know when it started. One moment, Onyeka was just a persistent customer who never stopped talking. The next, he was part of her daily life. He stayed longer at her store each day, helping her arrange her goods. He carries her heavy bags when the market closed, even when she insisted she could do it herself. He told her stories of the world outside their village. Olanma did not smile at men. She did not let them get too close. But Onyeka was different. For the first time in years, she found herself not minding a man's presence. For the first time in years, she let someone step into the small controlled world she had built for herself. And for the first time in years, she was afraid. Afraid of what it meant. Afraid of what was happening, because she had taken an oath. She did not know when it started, but she knew it had gone too far. She found herself looking forward to his visits. She noticed the way her heart felt lighter when she saw him walking towards her store. The way she listened more attentively to his stories. One evening, as she lay on her mat staring at the ceiling, the truth settled in her heart like a heavy stone. She was getting too close. She had sworn an oath. Her heart clenched at the thought. She had to stop this. She had to push him away before it was too late. The next morning, Olanma went to the market with a plan. She would tell Onyeka to stay away from her. She would say it as coldly as possible so he would never try to come back. She would cut him off before it became something she could not live without. But that day, Onyeka did not come. She told herself it was a coincidence. She sold her goods, packed her things and went home, relieved that she did not have to see him. Then the second day came. Onyeka did not show up. Olanma told herself it was good. She had wanted this, hadn't she? She had. But as she arranged her goods, she found herself glancing at the road where he usually appeared. As she sold her items, she caught herself listening to his voice, waiting for the usual joke, the usual dramatic signs. The market felt quieter, duller. By evening, she felt uneasy. She could not understand it. Why did the day feel wrong? Why did she feel empty? When she got home, she could not eat. She tossed and turned all night, restless, her chest feeling tight. It was as if the air itself had changed. She missed him. She, Olanma, who had sworn never to let a man get close, was missing Onyeka. The thought made her stomach twist. She did not know what was happening to her. By the third day, Olanma was a mess. She could barely focus. And then, just when she was about to lose all patience, he came. She saw him before she heard him, walking towards her store, carrying his usual relaxed smile, as if nothing had happened. Olanma froze. Her hands, which had been arranging a basket of plantain, stopped moving. Something warm and overwhelming surged inside her chest. Something she did not understand. She clenched her fist. She wanted to be angry. She wanted to scold him, to ask him where he had been. But when Onyeka grinned at her, casually dropping a bag of palm kernels on her store, she did something that shocked even herself. She smiled at a man, at him, a real smile, not forced, not controlled. It happened before she could stop it. Onyeka's eye widened slightly, as if he could not believe what he was seeing. "Ah, Olanma," he said, crossing his arms. "Did you miss me?" Olanma's smile vanished immediately. She turned her back to him, pretending to rearrange her goods. "You didn't answer my question," Onyeka teased. "Or should I disappear for 3 more days and see what happens?" Olanma's heart skipped a beat. She turned sharply, pointing a threatening finger at him. "Don't you dare!" Onyeka laughed. "Ah, so you missed me." Olanma turned away, trying to steady her racing heart. Something had changed between them. Something dangerous. Something she wasn't sure she could fight anymore. Olanma had always kept her past locked away like a forbidden secret. No one in this village knew who she truly was. But Onyeka was different. Since the day she realized how much she missed him during his short absence, something inside her had changed. She could no longer pretend. The truth was pressing against her chest like a heavy stone. She had spent her whole life carrying it alone, but for the first time, she felt the urge to share the burden with someone else. And that someone was Onyeka. That night, she made her decision. She would tell him everything. Olanma invited Onyeka to her hut after the market closed. It was the first time she had ever done that. Onyeka was surprised but did not question it. He simply followed her inside and sat on the mat. For a long time, Olanma was silent. Then she took a deep breath and spoke. "I was born into misfortune. My mother died giving birth to us, 7 daughters all at once. The villagers called her Mbeke, a woman of ill fate. My father, a poor man with no wealth or influence, was left alone to raise us." She paused, staring at the flickering lamp. "We were happy. Despite our struggles, we had nothing but each other. My father worked hard to care for us, but fate was not kind." She clenched her fist. 15 years later, my father fell from a palm tree and died. Onyeka inhaled sharply. Olanma's expression darkened. This was the past that still haunted her dreams. The villagers did not mourn him. Instead, they blamed us. They said our birth had brought death to our family. They said we were witches, cursed beings. She looked down at her hands, remembering the fear, the whispers, the accusing stares. They drove us out, banished us from the village like diseased animals. We had nowhere to go, so we fled to the forest. Onyeka's jaw tightened. He had heard stories of villages labeling innocent people as witches, but he had never met someone who had actually lived through it. Olanma's voice grew distant, as if she were no longer speaking to him, but reliving the nightmare. "We built a hut in the forest, far away from everyone. We swore an oath." She glanced at Onyeka. "An oath never to marry, never to leave each other. Everything we had, whether good or bad, will be shared among us. Onyeka frowned. Why would you make such an oath? Olanma exhaled shankly. We had been abandoned by the world. All we had was each other. There was silence. Then Olanma continued, her voice now almost a whisper. But the forest was not safe. Onyeka's muscles tensed. One by one, my sisters began to die. A shiver ran down Onyeka's spine. How? Olanma shook her head. When I decided to run, she whispered, to escape before death came for me too. She finally looked up at Onyeka. Her eyes were wet, but no tears fell. I came here to start over, to forget, but the oath, it still follows me. Onyeka swallowed hard. Olanma, he began, but she shook her head. That is why I cannot marry you, Onyeka, she said firmly. If I break that oath, my sisters will come for me. They will take me just as they were taken. Onyeka exhaled sharply, rubbing his palms together as he tried to make sense of everything. Olanma sat still, her gaze fixed on the flickering lamp. She had said everything. The truth she had hidden for years was finally out, and now she expects Onyeka to walk away, to leave her in peace, just like she planned. But Onyeka did not move. Instead, he studied her carefully. Finally, he spoke. Olanma, he said, his voice steady. I do not believe in curses. I do not believe your sisters died because of some spirits punishing them, he continued. Life is cruel, and sometimes it takes the ones we love for no reason. Olanma looked away, but Onyeka leaned closer. You said the oath will kill you if you break it, he said. But tell me, is this life you are living truly life? You are punishing yourself for something that was never your fault, Onyeka went on. You are running from shadows, hiding from happiness, all because of a past that should have no hold over you. Olanma clenched her fist. I do not expect you to understand. But I do, Onyeka countered. I understand that you are afraid. I understand that you have lived in fear for so long that you do not know how to live without it. He exhaled, then spoke more gently. But Olanma, do you not deserve to be happy? Olanma's lips parted slightly, but no words came. The truth was, she did not know. She had spent so long convincing herself that she could not be happy, that she never allowed herself to even consider it. Seeing her hesitation, Onyeka seized the moment. There is a way, he said. Olanma frowned. A way? Yes. His voice grew urgent. We will leave this place, so far that no one will know who you are. Olanma's eyes widened. No one will ever hear your name, he continued. No one will know where you come from. We will get married in secret and you will stay inside. You will never go to the market, never be seen in any gathering. Olanma blinked rapidly, trying to process his words. Could such a thing be possible? A new life where no one knew her past? But she shook her head. Onyeka, you do not understand. I do. He reached for her hand, and this time she did not pull away. Olanma, I love you. His voice was firm, unwavering, and I'm willing to do anything to be with you. Olanma's heart pounded. She wanted to say no. She wanted to remind herself of the oaths, of the dangers, of everything she had told herself over the years. But for the first time since she made the oath, a single thought whispered in her mind. What if I do deserve happiness? Her fingers trembled in Onyeka's grasp. Could she really take this risk? She searched Onyeka's eye, and all she saw was determination. He meant every word. He would take her far away. He would keep her safe. He would love her. And perhaps the spirit would not find her. After what felt like eternity, Olanma took a shanky breath, and then she nodded. Olanma and Onyeka left under the cover of night. They traveled far, far, far away, crossing rivers, dense forests, and vast grassland until they reached a quiet village where no one knew them. The village was small but peaceful, surrounded by green hills and wide farmlands. It was the perfect place to disappear. Here they could be free. Here Olanma could start over. Their secret marriage was simple yet beautiful. Onyeka, unable to perform the elaborate traditional rites, took her as his wife in the presence of only a village elder who agreed to bless their union in private. There was no feast, no gathering, no singing of maidens, only love. For Olanma it was enough. And so, with no witnesses but the whispering trees, Olanma became Onyeka's wife. After their marriage, Onyeka worked tirelessly on his farm. He was known in the village as a hard-working man. They often said that Onyeka is a man of great strength and kindness. But what no one knew was that his greatest strength was Olanma. Every morning before he left, he would kiss her forehead, squeeze her hands, and say, "I will return soon, my love." Though Olanma stayed hidden, but she found peace within the walls of their home. She cooked the most delicious meal, made sure Onyeka's clothes were clean, and filled their little house with warmth. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. Months passed, and soon Olanma's belly swelled with life. She was with child. Onyeka was overjoyed. When the time came, it was a stormy night. Thunder rumbled. Onyeka paced outside the hut, his heart pounding with fear and anticipation. Then, just as the storm calmed, a loud cry pierced the night, a baby's cry. Olanma had given birth to a beautiful baby girl. She had her mother's deep brown eyes and her father's warm smile. They named her Obianuju, a child born with wealth and happiness. For years, their home was peaceful. Olanma allowed herself to believe that she had finally escaped her past, that the spirit of her sisters had forgotten about her, that the oath would never find her. Onyeka's mother, popularly called Mama Onyeka, soon came to live with them. When she arrived, Olanma greeted her respectfully. Mama Onyeka was immediately taken by her beauty and her graceful nature. But from the first night, Onyeka and Olanma sat her down and warned her. "Mama," Onyeka said in a firm voice, "you must never tell anyone about Olanma. No one must know where she comes from. No one must ask questions about her past." Olanma added softly, "Mama, please, this is very important. No matter what, do not reveal my identity." Mama Onyeka, confused but willing to respect their wishes, agreed. "I don't know what this is about," she muttered, "but I will do as you say." Days turned into weeks, and soon months passed. Their home was filled with joy. But even in happiness, Olanma never let her guard down. Every time Mama Onyeka went to the market, Olanma reminded her of their secret. Mama Onyeka would wave her hand. "I have heard you, my daughter. Do not worry." But fate had other plans. One bright afternoon, Mama Onyeka went to the market to buy food. She moved from store to store, inspecting yams, selecting dried fish, and exchanging greetings with traders. Then, as she turned a corner, she froze. Standing before her were 6 young maidens, tall, elegant, and breathtakingly beautiful. They looked exactly like Olanma. Mama Onyeka gasped in shock, her heart pounding. "Chineke, this is impossible," she exclaimed, staring at them. "You girls, "You look so much like my daughter-in-law." The 6 maidens exchanged knowing glances. Then they smiled. Mama Onyeka felt a sudden chill. The smile was too perfect, too identical. A strange feeling crawled up her spine, but she shook it off. "Ah, my daughter-in-law will be so surprised to hear this," she muttered, gathering her basket and leaving. But as she walked home, she did not know that the 6 maidens were silently following her. They tracked her every step. They followed her past the marketplace, through the narrow footpaths, through the hills, and into the small compound where Onyeka and Olanma lived. Then, as silently as they came, they disappeared into the night. That night, Olanma was in her hut, rocking baby Obianuju to sleep. Onyeka sat outside, sharpening his knife. Mama Onyeka hummed softly as she prepared the evening meal. Then, suddenly, a chilling breeze swept through the compound. The night air grew thick, heavy with silence. Then came the whispers, soft, distant, yet growing louder. Olanma's heart seized. She knew that sound. She had heard it before, the night each of her sisters passed away. She clutched Obianuju tightly to her chest, her body trembling. "No, no, no, not now, please," she whispered. Then they appeared, 6 figures standing in the doorway, dressed in flowing white clothes, their feet barely touching the ground, their eyes hollow, empty, yet filled with sorrow. Olanma screamed. "No, please have mercy," she cried, backing away. Onyeka jumped to his feet. "Who are you?" he demanded. The tallest of the figures stepped forward. "Olanma," the spirit spoke, voice echoing like the wind. "You swore an oath. You broke it." "I had no choice," Olanma wept. "I was alone. I was afraid." The spirit did not move. "You were never alone. We have always been with you, but you chose to forget us." Tears poured down Olanma's face. "Please spare me. I have a child. I have a husband." The spirit shook their head. "You belong with us." Before Onyeka or Mama Onyeka could react, a great wind rushed into the room. The spirit surrounded Olanma. Olanma screamed as an invisible force lifted her from the ground. Onyeka lunged forward, trying to grab her. "No, you can't take her," he cried. But the spirits were too powerful. With one final whisper, "The oath cannot be broken," they vanished into the night, taking Olanma with them. The house fell into a dreadful silence. Baby Obianuju wailed in her cradle. Onyeka fell on his knees, his face buried in his hands. His wife was gone. Mama Onyeka trembled, tears streaming down her face. She had led them to her. She had doomed her own daughter-in-law, but there was nothing they could do. Nothing but weep. The lessons in this story are: 1. Promises, especially sacred ones, should not be made lightly, as they may have lasting consequences. 2. The danger of superstition and societal judgment. The story warns against blind superstition and the dangers of judging people based on circumstances beyond their control. 3. It reminds us that actions have consequences, and some past decisions can shape our futures in ways we never expect. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the story. If today is your first time coming across our videos, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you are watching us on YouTube. Like our videos and follow our page if you are watching us on Facebook. Do not forget to share. That is your little way of supporting us. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.